Welcome, I'm David Geiger. There was almost no rain in the last week, leaving Iowa farmers about 6 days good for field work. According to the Iowa Crop Progress Report, that included applying fertilizer, spraying, harvesting hay, and hauling grain. Corn is starting to silk about 5%, which is 2 days ahead of the 5-year average. Corn conditions are rated 85% good to excellent. Soybean blooming is at 37%, 6 days ahead of the average, with scattered reports of soybeans starting to set pods. Soybean conditions are rated 84% good to excellent. In pasture, conditions are at 69% good to excellent. State climatologist Justin Glisson says the recent weather pattern has been hot and dry.
We've been warmer than average over the last few days. Lots of upper 80s, low 90s, good for corn. But we are starting to see some moisture stress pop up, especially in western Iowa. Corn leaves are rolling, soybean leaves are flipping over, and we're starting to dry out the topsoil.
Soil moisture is staying mostly adequate, but as Glisson says, topsoil has reached 22% short to very short levels across the state. Earlier in June, it was cooler than average with more rainfall, but then at the end of the month, getting into the start of July, the heat started pumping in. Next week, there are chances of thunderstorms nearly every day, but not a lot of rainfall. What Glisson is seeing is high probabilities of continued heat, which is tightly tied to dryness. However, the outlook has no guarantees on rain levels.
So we're not getting a real clear signal as of July, but when we look out into the shorter term seasonal forecast, July, August, September, again, the warm signal, but we are seeing elevated probabilities of wetter than normal conditions. So if we do get into a continued dry stretch, hopefully we'll start to pick up some rainfall towards the end of July and getting into August and September.
A more mixed Tuesday trade. Our market analyst Don Rose has the details.
Well, the grain market remained in a market, which means that we're highly dependent on what the weather forecast is. Crop ratings overall remain lofty, still means we're at trend or above, so that's a little bit of an anchor. And as we've had in the last several years, we're right in that time frame where we're starting to compete very aggressively with South America crops that are starting to enter the world market. So that is an anchor along with the wheat harvest here in the U.S. in the Black Sea. The cattle market so far this week, we have traded cattle pretty much steady. Packers still making a big profit, about $300 a head. We've kind of reached this level where the beef market is stabilized. The retail level prices are coming down, so we're hopeful demand picks up. The hog market is very much like the cattle market. The slaughter rates continuing to pick up, which means backed up hogs from the COVID-19 are starting to enter the market. The retail level prices, continue to contract here. The overall export market has been strong, but it's really only China.
And that's all I have for the Agribusiness Report today. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you again next time.